What's going on? What's going on, y'all? You know who it is. You know what it is. It's your boy Big June. I'm back with it. Here with another episode of Big June Sports Talk, man. With sports discussion becomes sports debates and so on, man. Where we discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly. Everything and anything in the sports world, I touch on this platform, man. You know, I want to apologize for the inactivity in between episodes. But your boy Big June been dealing with personal life on a daily basis as well as work, So, you know, bear with me as I get these episodes going and try to build on more momentum. And you can get on to that Broken Warrior episode of Andrew Wiggins, the NCAA March Madness. Speaking of March Madness, I'll get into a little Connecticut LSU talk, and congratulations are in order. But, you know, also I have a boxing episode that I got in the vault, it's in the stash, and I promise to drop that real soon. But I'll get a little into the Benavidez-Caleb Plant matchup and what that means moving forward, right, for both fighters. There's a lot of things going on in the sports world, some good, some bad, some ugly, some has the making of becoming real ugly. And I'll touch on that as I get my little ESPN episode on and touch on various topics of different sports, from football, basketball, baseball, a little hockey, you know, boxing. Your boy Big June is into it, right? You see the Knicks jersey, you see the Knicks hat. Congratulations to my New York Knicks securing that fifth seed. Prematurely securing that fifth seed with that win tonight against Indiana. And there's a lot of talk about what's going on as far as playoff seeding and play-in seeding as well. And I'm going to touch on that as well. So, you know, I do apologize for doing this late episode. I'm normally doing the day, but it was kind of hot today, and I had to, you know, let it die down in the Sunshine State of Florida, man. It is what it is, bro. So, you know, bear with me. You can't see the ugly face, but you can hear the raspy voice. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. You know, like I mentioned, man, there's a lot of stuff going on in the sports world, man. And, you know, this right here that I'm going to touch on, I decided to talk on it first, meaning that I don't really know what's going on. I just heard it. It was just dropped as a report. So I don't know as far as due diligence and doing research is actually what's going on. So I'm sure that more details will emerge. And, you know, just stay tuned. But where there's smoke, there's fire, right? So former vice president of operations of the Arizona Cardinals, McDonough, right? That's his last name, accused the owner of cheating and several other accusations and allegations, right? So again, like I always mention, man, where there's smoke, there's fire. Why would someone in the front office accuse the owner of an NFL franchise of cheating and various other allegations? I mean, with all the black eyes and punches the NFL has taken from every different direction, Roger Goodell needs to put his work boots on, put his gloves on, and see what's really going on, right? But it gets deeper than that. So again, stay tuned for that. As the former VP of the Arizona Cardinals, McDonough just dropped a bombshell out in the desert, accusing the Arizona Cardinals owner of cheating and several different allegations. So stay tuned on that. But let me keep with the continuation of the NFL theme, right? And it wouldn't be an ESPN episode if I didn't give you an update on what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, right? It is what it is. Us New York Jet fans are frustrated and excited at the same time, knowing the possibility of Aaron Rodgers suiting up for us in this upcoming season and another season as well, right? So we all want to know, what's the holdup? Is it on the Green Bay side, or is it on the New York Jet side? Because I'm hearing different reports and different rumors as far as the Green Bay Packers wanting to cement the #1 pick with a conditional second, turn into another first-round pick. I also heard that the New York Jets want to protect themselves in case Aaron Rodgers does decide to retire after this one season with the Jets, right? So we don't know truly what's going on. But as a Jet fan, I have to stay tuned and just, you know, and be excited and continue to wait. And hopefully that, you know, draft is coming up. So that's a date that we got to look forward to. So mark that date on your calendar, knowing that possibly that move could be made before the draft. Because if you look at it from the Green Bay perspective, right? You want to accommodate your new quarterback, Jordan Love, with as many pieces that you can. Whether it's through the offense, defense, offensive line, another weapon as a wide receiver, a running back to add to the fold. Anything in the equation to help your young quarterback, right? In his development. And as far as the New York Jets, you want to bring in your new quarterback to build a rapport, to build a chemistry with the offense, with the offensive line, with the new weapons at the wide receiver position as well. So is Odell Beckham waiting for Aaron Rodgers to finally get traded to the New York Jets before he signs the deal and become the latest wide receiver of the New York Jets? Is that in play? He just received a contract offer from the Baltimore Ravens, right? Now, I wouldn't be doing my reports, my journalism, if I didn't mention what's going on with Lamar Jackson. Now, let me just take a step real back. Let me, you know, because it is frustrating when you look at the overall picture, right? What is going on with Lamar Jackson? Is it a collusion between all the NFL owners? We understand that it was unprecedented, when Deshaun Watson received a fully guaranteed contract from the Cleveland Browns. Now, this is something that I always discuss with my son. And I constantly state this, being a New York Jet and a Knicks fan. When you're a bad team, you constantly got to overpay for talent. And in this situation, Cleveland Browns had a fully guaranteed a contract to Deshaun Watson in order for him to become the new starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Now, when you compare everything that's been accomplished from Lamar Jackson since he's entered the league and what Deshaun Watson has accomplished, and we're not talking about the outside rumors, we're talking about what they do on the gridiron. Does it merit Lamar Jackson to receive a similar contract to Deshaun Watson with a fully guaranteed contract, or for almost fully guaranteed? But more importantly, why aren't they other teams being interested in Lamar Jackson's services? Well, you heard about the Atlanta Falcons not being in play, the New York Jets not being in play, several other teams not being in play when it comes to Lamar Jackson. So you mean to tell me that there are 32 teams that are fully satisfied with the quarterback position, that they at least didn't inquire about Lamar Jackson's services? Or is the price too steep of 2 first-round picks, depending on what franchise you're looking at it, right? So again, is it a collusion in between these NFL owners to freeze out Lamar Jackson? Is it him not having the proper representation as far as agency-wise, dampening his representation, how he negotiates with these NFL teams, if there is another team negotiating with him? Is there an offer from the Baltimore Ravens on the table for Lamar Jackson? Because you hear about him refusing certain offers with certain amount of money, fully guaranteed, which he denied. So who's telling the truth? It's another case of billionaires versus millionaires. Which side are you on? But what we do see and what was going on in today's era in the NFL, I mean, it's crazy. Why isn't there no interest, no traction when it comes to Lamar Jackson? I mean, it is mind-boggling. So, as far as everything goes with Lamar Jackson, where does he end up at? Or would he be forced to sign that franchise tag and suit up for the Baltimore Ravens once again? I mean, stay tuned, because we're all going to find out. Or is there a surprise team waiting in the wings? Waiting to make their move? Winning a handover? A nice, hefty contract, as well as surrender 2 first-round picks to the Baltimore Ravens? Stay tuned for that. I mean, hey, it is what it is, right? So now, congratulations are in order to David Benavidez for defeating Caleb Plant. This is one of the matchups I had mentioned on my prior boxing episode. Now, the real million-dollar question we all want to know is, does this guarantee the Mexican monster the elusive fight with Canelo Alvarez that he's been campaigning for years? It possibly could have been a rematch if Caleb Plant would have came out victorious. And shout out to Caleb Plant for for handling it like a man with class, a warrior in the ring, going about his business. Some would say he took a pounding, and he stood toe-to-toe with a monster. So again, shout out to Benavidez, shout out to Caleb Plant. But again, to backtrack to the question I just asked, does this guarantee David Benavidez that elusive fight with Canelo Alvarez? Us boxing fans know Canelo likes to fight twice a year. So some will say that one of those fights has to be a rematch with Bivol, right? To avenge that loss. So is the other matchup going to be with David Benavidez? Excuse me. Because it's been quoted numerous times for Canelo Alvarez that he doesn't want to fight a fellow Mexican boxer. However, David Benavidez and his camp have non-stop campaigned for this dream matchup. Is it to secure the bag or to see who's the pride of Mexico? whatever it is. But us fans, will we get to see that fight? Now be on the lookout for certain other fights on the horizon, such as David Haney and Lomachenko, right? You also have Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia. There's talks of Josh Taylor and Teofimo Lopez getting it in. And hopefully Fury and Usyk can get together and finally negotiate that fight. So us fans can enjoy a nice wallop of exciting fights during the course of this year of 2023. But will we ever get to see the Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fight? This is what us fans really want to see, right? So again, stay tuned. Be on the lookout for some of these exciting fights. Also, Shakur Stevenson and some of these up-and-coming boxers. Hopefully, James Bones and this gets his play and someone steps up to the plate. It's a lot of some exciting young boxers. And hopefully, they get their day in the sun coming real soon, right? So again, be on the lookout for that. Shout out to Benavidez, shout out to Cater Plant. Does he get that elusive fight with Canelo Alvarez? This is what we want to know. This is the $1 million question. And also be on the lookout for that boxing episode. I have in a vote, and I'm going to drop it real soon. Now, I mentioned playoffs, NBA, and I'm going to touch on that in a few minutes. But if you know, as a sports fan, as an NHL fan, this season is surely coming to an end as well. And playoff time is amongst us for all hockey fans. Your boy Big June don't really touch on hockey too much, but I am a New York Ranger fan, and I root from afar. And this is my time of the year. You can call me a bandwagon fan. It is what it is. I might agree with that to an extent. But I do enjoy watching the New York Rangers, and I enjoyed that playoff run last year. Unfortunately, we didn't get the job done. We didn't go to the Stanley Cup. But is this the year the New York Rangers hoist that Stanley Cup? Are the acquisitions of Patrick Kane, Vladimir Tarasenko, right? You didn't think I know that, right? Nicky Mikola. Are those acquisitions at the deadline enough to propel this playoff run for the New York Rangers? If it is indeed a deep playoff run. Because right now it looks like we have a first-round matchup with the New Jersey Devils. See, this is one of the things that I enjoy about hockey. One year, you're down. The next season, you're in the playoffs. And this is what the New Jersey Devils did. But this is all about the New York Rangers. And they're building momentum heading into the playoffs. They're clicking at the right time. The acquisitions are jetting in. This playoff team is looking like a real strong team that can make a push in this playoff. So again, as a Ranger fan, you got to feel excited knowing the playoffs are here. The rivalry, first round. Set it off the right way. You're setting the tempo off the right way for a nice, deep playoff run, right? Knock off the crosstown rivals, New Jersey Devils. It is what it is. Stay tuned for this playoff push. Speaking of playoffs, man, it is NBA time. You see the jersey, you see the hat, you see what it is. My New York Knicks defeated the Indiana Pacers. Hopefully we secured the number 5 seed tonight. And, shout out to Tom Thibodeau and all the troops for getting it done. And hopefully Julius Randle recovers fast and gets ready for this playoff first-round matchup against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, this is one of the matchups that looks like it's already sewn. So be on the lookout for that. The number 4 seed, Cleveland Cavaliers, against my number 5 seed, New York Knicks. Do we have a fighter's chance? Do we have a puncher's chance in this matchup? I mean, we did win the season series 3-1. But let's not read too much into that, right? We also won the season series against Atlanta Hawks. And our prior appearance in the playoffs, right? So, and we all see how that ended up. Trae Young becoming the villain now, as far as us Garden fans. So, do you see the New York Knicks defeating the Cavaliers in the first round? Making noise, making a deep run in the playoffs. I mean, the perfect scenario for every New Yorker, this dream matchup in the Eastern Conference Finals will be the New York Knicks against the Brooklyn Nets. With the winner heading to the NBA Finals. I mean, let a man dream. A man can always dream, right? But when you look at the overall landscape of the NBA, the playoffs, the play-in situation, and I'm going to touch on that right now, right? You got the number 1 seed and 2 right now in the East. It looks like it might be cemented. It's the Milwaukee Bucks at 1 with the Boston Celtics at 2. So the 3-6 matchup, you had the Philadelphia Sixers versus the known rival in the Brooklyn Nets. I just mentioned a 4-5 matchup with the Knicks and the Cavaliers. Now, let's get into some of the play-ins, right? At the 7-8 matchup, you had the Miami Heat versus the Atlanta Hawks. Two foes that know each other from the same division as well. And rounded it off at the 9-10 matchup, you had the Toronto Raptors versus the Chicago Bulls. Now, these are both two playoff teams in prior seasons, right? The Bulls and the Raptors, with the Raptors capturing with a championship a couple of years ago. So, giving you a rundown of the Eastern Conference through the playoff and play-in situation. How do you see this playing out? If everything stayed the way it is as I speak today, right now, at this moment, who wins the 7-8 matchup between Miami and Atlanta? You know, Nate McMillan was fired, replaced by Quinn Snyder. Trae Young, Murray, looks like they're playing good ball. Could they be gaining momentum at the right time, knowing the play-in surely coming up? What about the Miami Heat? They acquired Kevin Love, Cody Zeller for the front court. Is Bam Adebayo fully healthy? Is Jimmy Butler ready to rally the troops and make a deep run in the playoff like they did a couple of years ago in the bubble? Stay tuned for that. And again, like I mentioned, it's a divisional matchup, so they know each other good. Throw away the videotape, throw away the scouting report, make a better team win, right? As far as the Raptors and Bulls, some would say the Bulls are one of the most disappointing teams this season in the NBA. You know, no Lonzo Ball out for the whole year. You figure Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, that tandem would at least have them in the playoff scenario, right, as we speak. But they're currently in the play-in situation, and anything can happen, right? So in that matchup between the Raptors and the Bulls, who do you see coming out on top? I mean, Fred VanVleet, Siakam, them boys out there in Toronto, they playoff experience. They battle tested. So you can't overlook them as far as them in the matchup. And the winner goes home. Win and go home. Win or go home. That's what I really meant to say. Excuse me. Win or go home. So you can't discredit or discount the Toronto Raptors in this matchup. So again, it's some real juicy matchups in the Eastern Conference, right? Now let's take it to the Western Conference for a second. Where the number 1 seeds are the Denver Nuggets, who are currently struggling. Number 2 seed is the Memphis Grizzlies, dealing with a couple of injuries, a couple of personal issues, knucklehead Ja Morant, right? But now, the 3-6 seed is Sacramento versus the Los Angeles Clippers. But that could change during the outcome of tonight's Clippers-Lakers matchup, right? See, that's the beauty of the West Conference right now. It's so bunched up and so many, it's not separated by so many games that you can easily slip from number 4, 5 to possibly 7, 8, 9, 10 in the play-in situation, right? So number 3, Sacramento, congratulations to them for breaking that streak they had of not making the playoffs, for lighting the beam on a consistent basis this season, for Mike Brown, who possibly cemented the Coach of the Year award for leading the Sacramento Kings back into the playoffs, securing the number 3 seed, winning the Pacific Division. Not the Golden State Warriors, who are the defending champions, not the Lakers, not the Phoenix Suns, not the Los Angeles Clippers, but the Sacramento Kings. So again, shout out to Mike Brown and the Sacramento Kings. But now, can they get it done and win a playoff series against the number 6 seed, who is currently the Clippers? Like I just mentioned, it might change due to the outcome of the Laker-Clipper matchup tonight. But when you look at the 4-5 matchup, you have the Phoenix Suns at the 4 seed with the defending champions, Golden State Warriors, at the number 5. You hear the report, what was going on with Andrew Wiggins, no one really knows. You can check out that episode, Broken Warrior, that dropped on the catalog on the channel, right? But he's sure to return, if not for the end of the season, but for the playoff run, right? For the beginning of the playoffs. So be on the lookout for that. But that 4-5 matchup, Kevin Durant versus his former team, right? Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, battle-tested, defending champions, legacy. What a juicy matchup for a first-round matchup. I mean, is this the year that the Phoenix Suns take it back to the NBA Finals? Is Kevin Durant that deciding factor? Stay tuned. We're going to find out for that. But what a matchup for a first-round playoff matchup. 4-5, wow. Now, when you look at the play-in situation, these are all subject to change. These teams are so bunched up right next to each other record-wise that we're going to have to wait for the end of the season to see who lands what and who's eliminated. I mean, it really is. So, at the 7th spot, you have the Los Angeles Lakers against the 8th seed New Orleans Pelicans. They just played a couple of games ago. You know the Pelicans are missing several players, key players like Zion Williamson, Grand Theft, Alvarado. So, you know, key players. Brandon Ingram is playing lights out. So, who do you see winning that matchup? The Lakers are playing good ball right now. Since they made them trades at the deadline, open up space, gain some shooters, and Beasley, Russell, Vanderbilt, the kid from the Wizards, it looks like a whole new team. It looks like that championship winning team, right? You're letting the offense run through AD, which is great. LeBron is back, ready for this stretch run, this deep possible playoff run. So do you see the Lakers defeating the Pelicans and securing that 7th seed? Or if they win this matchup tonight against the Clippers, you can wake up, we all can wake up and see the Los Angeles Lakers, possibly at the 5 or 6 seed. So stay tuned for that. Some of these Western Conference matchups, because it's subject to change. It really is, man. So stay tuned. Now, I don't want to go too deep into this, but congratulations are in order to the Connecticut Huskies and the women LSU Tigers for capturing national championships on both respective parts. The first championship for the women Lady Tigers. So you got to be excited for that. But now, you know I got to talk about that. We always talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let me extend this little video time right now, right? Again, congratulations to the LSU Women Tigers. Now, all the controversy surrounding Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, the hand gestures, the going back and forth, what's good for the game. Me and your boy Big June, I don't have a problem with it. Why? Because it was tick for tack. No one complained when Caitlin Clark was doing it through their playoff run in the tournament. And, you know, before I get deep into that, let me congratulate all the teams that made noise and made history in this March Madness. This is why it's called March Madness. From Florida A&U to San Diego State and several other teams that rode that wave and made their Elite Eight, and made the Sweet 16, and made the Final Four, and the mid-major made the championship game. That's great for the game of college basketball. But now, back to the game, back to the winners, back to LSU. Your boy Big June doesn't have a problem. What was going on between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark? And Caitlin Clark even came out in defense of Angel Reese and said she didn't have a problem with it. So what's all the big bickering and going back and forth like this bozo from Barstool? What's this guy's name? Dave Portnoy or Portno? It doesn't even matter. Who are you to criticize this young lady? What gives you the right? Because you have a platform? Because you have a nice bank account? No one gives a crap. In all reality, Pa, you out of line. You ain't got no right to call anyone a piece of shit. Did you look in the mirror? Who gives you the right? Because you have a platform? I got a platform too. I can call you a lot of shit. What good is that going to do me? And if I did do it, I would do it in your face. I wouldn't do it through a tweet and retweet like a little coward, you little keyboard thug. This is what we doing in 2023? Yeah, you know, because you have a big platform. But a minute that worth a game, right? Willie, Gilly and Wallow. Y'all dudes got some explaining to do, bro. I know he cuts the check, but you gonna let him slander a young lady just like that? For doing something that's known in the game? Accepted in the game? It is what it is, right? And now, from one weird situation to another, as far as all this LSU Tigers and national championship, why in the world would the First Lady, Jill Biden, invite the University of Iowa as the runner-ups to the White House? When has that been done? So, should we expect the Boston Celtics to be invited to the White House for losing the NBA Finals to the Golden State Warriors? So if that's the case, then you definitely got to invite the San Diego State Aztecs for losing to the Connecticut Huskies. My Connecticut Huskies. Congratulations again to Coach Hurley for reaching that legacy status, that legendary status, reaching that, you know, that bracket with Coach Ali and Coach Calhoun. and also Coach Ariema. And you can check out Gino's Juggernaut on my Spotify Ncaa app days through Smokers Lounge / Big June Sports Talk, man. It is what it is. Well, I give Gino his flowers for doing everything legendary for the University of Connecticut. So, do you invite every loser moving forward to the White House? Again, what was Jill Biden, the First Lady of the United States, thinking? Some would say, I'm going to even throw it out there because they've been throwing it out there in some of these sports shows, right? She said, or they said, that this is the rational. Maybe she saw the starting five of Iowa as a reflection of her younger days, or possibly her niece or granddaughter, because the starting five of Iowa were all white. I mean, I'm not just throwing it out there. It's been thrown out there through ESPN, through Fox Sports. I'm just reporting what I'm hearing. So again, I will pose that question. Is that the real reason why the First Lady, Jill Biden, wants or intends to invite or considering inviting the University of Iowa, who just lost to the LSU Women Tigers in the national championship game? I mean, it is what it is, man. You know, like I said, I decided to extend this one here. So I'm giving y'all a full rundown. Major League Baseball time talk, man. It is what it is. Opening week was just around last week. Hopefully your team got off to a hot start, a good start. Shout out to my New York Yankees. We got it done. We took the series for the Philadelphia Phillies, and hopefully we can keep gaining momentum and ride this wave and capture another American League East, right? Another American League East. Excuse me. But something happened during the off season, right? And what happened, through the collective bargaining agreement, that both parties decided to add a pitch clock, right? So, is that good or bad for the game of baseball? Because you got a lot of people that can't sit there throughout the whole duration of a game. So the intention of the pitch clock was to shorten up the outcome of the game. Now, Miami pitcher Sandy Alcantara, excuse me if I pronounced your last name wrong, just pitched a complete game in less than 2 hours. Now, you just had Manny Machado be called out on strikes for violation of the pitch clock. Shohei Ohtani had the dubious distinction of being violated on both sides of the spectrum, at bat and on the mound, for violating the pitch clock. So again, let me pose that question to you. Is it good for the game of baseball? If you're a fan who can't sit through a 1 hour inning where you have numerous pitching changes, deep threat, long pitch counts, long at bats, just to see one team score 1 run on a sacrifice fly. I love my New York Yankees and I root hard for them, but I can't sit there and watch a Yankee game or any baseball game for 3 or 4 hours. These games sometimes are ridiculously long. If both teams are threatening, long innings on both sides, pitching changes on both sides. So again, is this pitch clock good for the game of baseball moving forward? I know it's an adjustment for the pitchers and the hitters, but again, some pitchers like to pitch fast, move fast. And some hitters, when they step to the plate, they mean business. They don't want to shake their glove around and fix it and wiggle the bat and make sure they got the dirt in the right position. No, they come with the bat and they ready to hit. And you got a pitcher towing that rubber, ready to throw that pitch. So it is what it is. But be on the lookout for that and stay tuned. Again, like I just mentioned, the Miami Marlins pitcher, Sandy Alcantara, just pitched a complete game in less than 2 hours. And Shohei Ohtani was violated on both sides of the spectrum, at bat and pitching, for violating the pitch clock. And also Manny Machado. So again, it is an adjustment for both the hitters and the pitcher. It is what it is. Stay tuned, man. And maybe they might scrap it at the end of the season if it is not successful. Who knows? But what I do know, I gave you a whole ESPN show, man. Your boy Big June touched on a little bit of everything. And, you know, hopefully my New York Knicks can ride the wave, and Brooklyn Nets, and let a man dream. As far as the Aaron Rodgers and New York Jets, it is what it is, man. Hopefully they get that trade done, and the New York Rangers make a long playoff push, and hopefully host that Stanley Cup and bring the championship back to New York, man. And be on the lookout for that boxing episode I got. All my family and friends in New York, stay safe, stay sharp, stay blessed. All my family and friends in the pen, some of y'all going in, some of y'all coming out. Hold your head, stay prayed up. It is what it is, man. I'm out of here. 1.